Hello there. Hope everyone's doing well. This one is for my people that are 50 and over that are navigating these uncertain times, dealing with adult children, dealing with grandchildren, dealing with caregiving of parents. So, if you're in that category, or even if you aren't over 50, maybe this is the place for you. I'm just going to jump right into it, and basically, I'm going to just say navigating these times are very trying, and it's even more trying when you're already running on empty. Some of us may be navigating menopause. Some of us may be trying to accomplish some of our own personal goals and navigating medical situations and so on. So that can be very trying, on top of not getting enough sleep or having interrupted sleep, or sometimes having to constantly repeat yourself when you thought you were being very clear. Unfortunately, we all have, I guess, different comprehension levels, and then when you're already working on empty tanks, many people just don't hear you, and I know a lot of people are working on empty tanks. So I'm just here to give you some tips and pointers on how to navigate that. So, first off, dealing with adult children, and sometimes some of us are sharing spaces with them, and we're having to navigate that road of crossing over, trying to stay in our lane. However, you're dealing with adult children that still need more coaching, more advice, more helping along due to the uncertain times that we are navigating. Most people, in many age groups, are having a tough time financially. So I can understand those that are coming fresh out of college, not finding a job or not finding one that is paying enough, or you having to work two, three jobs, and so on. I get that. So when you're navigating, trying to, parent adult children, um, always try to, remain respectful, try to keep your emotions down. And I know that can be hard because some young people, I don't know, I think the narcissist ball just fell on their head, and they just can, tend to think that responsibility it doesn't belong to them, or they will just try to, you know, navigate around that. And what I'm basically trying to say is some people do exactly what they want to do with their money and don't do what they're supposed to do with their money, meaning taking care of your needs first, then your wants. And let's get on the topic of loaning money. When you are loaning money, I have learned and I have been told many years, only loan what you plan to give. Sometimes I fall into that line of thinking that, hey, everybody's like me. They know what my financial situation is, but yet I'm going to sacrifice and loan them money to help them through their trying times that they are experiencing. But it's, amazing how when young people get, some young people, not all, some young people get their money back, and then they forget all the people in the family that they've borrowed money from and so on, and then have the audacity to tell you, oh, well, it's family, you shouldn't have to pay it back. You have to pay your debtors back. You knew what my financial situation is. But on that, what I do is I just, okay, like they said, there's a lesson before the blessing. So I've, learned some costly lessons in that department, and I give it to God. But when they, whip that corner again and ask, deuces. And it won't be, I told you so, this and that. No, I have to look at my financial risk, and simply put, you were a financial risk because you didn't know how to pay me back. Or, please, don't talk about the ones that go and get new houses, new cars, or even travel internationally. And I feel like on your money that they owe you. Moving on to caregiving to parents. It's a hard place to be, especially when you've lived on your own for a long time and they've been on their own, and now you're combining households and they're used to being able to navigate life, independently. And, yet they can be kind, but the lack of memory or the miscommunication and so on and things, can get kind of messed up, and it can really be trying on your nerves. What I say with this one is I encourage rest for you. I encourage rest for your parent or the person you're caregiving. Many older people, including myself, we have issues with sleeping, and sometimes that can have something to do with hormones, especially us ladies when we enter um, menopause. Those hormones are fluctuating and so on. And me personally, I am navigating the last year of taking a anastrozole for having breast cancer 3 times in 3 years in a row. And in a nutshell, anastrozole, it blocks all hormones. So imagine going through life like that for 5 years. But, we do what we got to do. So getting back to navigating that, especially when you don't have support from family members that are not calling, that are not offering to give you relief and so on, sometimes you just have to excuse yourself. And that may mean, house sitting. That may mean doing a road trip. That may mean just staying a night away somewhere, going camping, whatever. Because if you don't take care of yourself and you keep pouring from that empty cup, guess what? You may end up checking out, and those people will be right there. So, with that being said, it's all about, putting yourself first. You evaluate yourself first. When you wake up, what am I feeling? What do I need to do